Hello, Anna. Hello, Richard. And welcome to your great adventure. To begin the adventure, we've got to pass through the magic door. Are you ready? Then close your eyes, and here we go. Imagine you're walking through the doorway now. What's this? We're on a little track, and there are 3 houses by the side. The first one is made of straw, and there's someone just finishing building it. It's a little pig. Hello, little pig. What are you doing today?
Oh, hello. I'm building my house of straw. I hope it's strong enough so the wolf won't blow it down and eat me.
Oh, I see. Well, best of luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Shall we keep going and see what's further down the road? There sounds like there's some hammering and sawing. Look, it's a house made of sticks. And there, working on the house, is the second little pig. Hello, little pig. What are you doing?
Hello. I'm building my house of sticks. It should be a lot stronger so the wolf can't eat me.
Oh, well, carry on then. Don't let us stop you. Let's keep going and see what's further down the road. There looks to be a very strong house made of bricks. Shall we knock at the door and see who's in?
Hello.
It's the third little pig. Hello, little pig. You have a very strong house made of bricks.
Thank you. The wolf can huff and puff all he likes, but he'll never blow my house down.
Well, I'm sure he won't. But who's this coming down the road? Well, he's big and hairy, with long ears, big eyes, and very big teeth. It's Mr. Wolf. Hello, Mr. Wolf. Oh, I don't think he heard me. Will you help me to shout to him? Ready? Hello, Mr. Wolf. Still nothing. We'll have to shout even louder. Ready? Hello, Mr. Wolf.
What? Oh, hello, yes. Look you now. I'm on my way to blow a few houses down. I think I'll manage the straw one, but I might struggle with this brick one here. Look, see, because I've had a nasty cold plays havoc with your huffing and puffing.
Oh dear, poor Mr. Wolf. Let's see what happens to Mr. Wolf and the pigs, Anna and Richard. Why don't you belong to this song about the 3 little pigs, Anna and Richard?
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la.
Long ago there were 3 pigs, 3 handsome piggy wigs. For the big bad, very bad wolf, they did not give 3 figs. Number 1 would play all day, and he built his house with hay. With a hey toot toot he played on his flute, and he played around all day.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la.
Number 2 was fond of jigs, though he built his house with twigs. With a hey diddle diddle he played on his fiddle, and he danced with the lady pigs. When the wolf came into town, he blew both houses down. So number 3 said, come with me, for there's no need to frown.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la.
Number 3 dance, 'cause work and play don't mix. When the wolf went huff and puff, the bricks were much too tough. He blew and blew until he knew at last he'd had enough.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Tra-la-la-la-la.
Well done, Anna. And well done, Richard. Let's keep going and see who else we meet. Well, I can see a very tall wall. And who's this sitting on the top of the wall? It's Humpty Dumpty. Hello, Humpty. What are you doing up there?
Hello. I like sitting on the top of this wall. It makes me feel very tall because I'm really quite small. Do you know, I can see for miles around up here.
I'm sure you can, but just be careful, Humpty, because it doesn't look like you're sitting properly up there. It looks from down here like you're sitting too close to the edge of the wall. But I can hear some horses. It's all the king's horses and all the king's men. I think they're going to try and put Humpty back together again. Whilst they're trying to mend him, shall we sing Humpty's song?
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
Unfortunately, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. But I know a man who can, and he's coming down the hill with what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a bit of guess, about 10,000 men. Excuse me, sir, would you and your men be able to put Humpty Dumpty back together again?
Yes, I do think that's fairly straightforward. So listen, men, first of all, I want you to march up to the top of the hill over there. Now, you'll stop halfway, because that will neither be up nor down. And once up, come down. All the way down, not halfway down. Everything perfectly clear? Splendid.
And, Humpty Dumpty?
Yes. Listen, chaps, when we come down, we're going to put Mr. Dumpty here back together again. Right then, quick, march!
The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. The grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. And do you know, Anna and Richard? The grand old Duke of York and his 10,000 men have managed to put Humpty back together again. Are you feeling better again, Humpty?
Well, my head hurts a little, but thank you ever so much for putting me together again. I think I'll keep my feet on the ground in future and stay well away from walls.
That's a very good idea, Humpty. Well, we must keep going. Bye.
Bye.
Let's keep going down the path to this farmhouse. I wonder who lives here. Let's knock on the door.
Hello.
Hello, and what's your name?
My name's Macdonald, and I'm a farmer. I've been farming for a long time now, so people call me Old Macdonald. Would you like to hear my song?
Yes, thanks. I think we know this. Sing along, Anna and Richard.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had some cows, E-I-E-I-O. With a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had some sheep, E-I-E-I-O. With a ba-ba here and a ba-ba there, here a ba, there a ba, everywhere a ba. And a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had some pigs, E-I-E-I-O. With a here and a there, here a there, everywhere. With a ba-ba here and a ba-ba there, here a ba, there a ba, everywhere a ba. With a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had some ducks, E-I-E-I-O. With a quack quack here and a quack quack there, here a quack, there a quack, everywhere a quack. With a here and a there, here a there, everywhere. With a ba-ba here and a ba-ba there, here a ba, there a ba, everywhere a ba. With a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Now then, would you like to see my animals?
Yes, that'd be great. Why don't we turn this into a game? You listen to the sound from each animal and see if you recognise it. Anna, are you ready? Richard, are you ready? Here we go then.
Those be my cows. Those be my sheep. Those be my pigs. Those be my hens. Those be my ducks and geese. That's my sheepdog. He's called Bobby Bingo. Do you want to hear his song?
The farmer's dog stands my back door. His name is Bobby Bingo. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. His name is Bobby Bingo. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. His name is Bobby Bingo. The farmer's dog lies on the mat. His name is Bobby Bingo. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. His name is Bobby Bingo. The farmer's dog sits on my chair. His name is Bobby Bingo. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. His name is Bobby Bingo. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. His name is Bobby Bingo.
That was a good song, wasn't it, Anna and Richard? Let's say bye-bye to old Macdonald and Bingo and keep going. The sky is getting very dark, though, and it looks like it's going to rain. Oh dear, here it comes. And there's thunder as well. Look, there's a little cow shelter over there by that outside water tap. If we stand in there, we won't get wet. Oh dear, it's raining very hard. The dark cloud overhead, though, is passing away. Oh, I think it's going to stop raining. Yeah, it stopped. All you can hear now is the dripping from that water spout over there.
Hello.
It's a spider on the floor.
Hello. My name is Incy, Wincy, Spider.
And it talks. Hello, Mr. Spider. I mean Incy Wincy. What are you doing here?
I live in this water tub, but all the rain washed me out onto the floor. But as soon as the sun comes out, it'll be dry enough to go back up the spout all over again.
I see. Well, I know a song about you, Incy. Let's sing it, Anna and Richard. Here we go.
The Incy Wincy Spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. Now Incy Wincy Spider went up the spout again.
Yes, it was, Incy. And the good news is, the sun's coming out. I think it's going to be dry enough for you to climb up your water spout.
Okay, I'll have a go.
And there goes Incy. Well, that is until the next shower of rain. We're now in the middle of a little wood. It's quite dark, and it's fairly quiet. But can you hear that? Can you hear some chattering ahead? Well, there's lots of animals, and they're clapping, and they look very excited. They seem to be cheering a tortoise. And there's also another animal that looks like a rabbit. Well, he's out of breath, and he's lying on the floor. Oh, no, it's got long ears. It's not a rabbit. It's a hare. He looks like he's been running. Oh, now here comes the tortoise. Let me see if I can have a word with him. Hello, tortoise. What's been going on here, then?
Well, the hare and I have been having a race. Would you like to hear the story of what happened?
Would you like that, Richard? And what about you, Anna? Then let's listen to the story about the tortoise and the hare.
In the forest, there was a clearing where all the animals gathered each evening after going to the river to drink. The tortoise was usually the last to arrive, and the other animals would laugh at him as he plodded into the clearing. "Come on, slow coach," they would call out as he came through the grass towards them. The tortoise would blink at them and continue slowly on his way until he reached the spot where he wanted to settle down. The liveliest of all the animals in the forest was the hare. He ran so fast that he was always the first to arrive at the clearing. "Just look at me," he was boasting one evening. "I can run faster than any of you." The tortoise ambled into the clearing, last as usual. To everyone's surprise, he went slowly across to the hare. "Since you run so fast, could you beat me in a race?" he asked. "I beat you in a race?" exclaimed the hare, and he fell on the ground laughing. "Of course I would beat you. You name the distance, tortoise, but don't make it too far for your short little legs." And he roared with laughter again. Most of the other animals laughed too. It did seem a very funny idea. The fox said, "Come on then, tortoise, name the distance and the time, and then we will all come to watch." "Let us start tomorrow morning at sunrise," suggested the tortoise. "We'll run from this clearing to the edge of the forest and return along the bank of the river to this spot again." "Why, it will take you all day to go so far, tortoise. Are you sure you want to go ahead with it?" asked the hare. He grinned at the thought of the easy victory he would have. "I am sure," replied the tortoise. "The first one back to this clearing will be the winner." "Agreed," said the hare, as the tortoise settled down in some long grass to sleep for the night. The next morning the clearing was full of animals who had come to see the start of the great race. Some ran along to the edge of the forest, others chose good places to watch along the way. The hare and the tortoise stood side by side. As the sun rose, the fox called, "Ready, steady, go!" The hare jumped up, and in no time at all he was far ahead of the tortoise, almost out of sight. The tortoise started off in the same direction. He plodded along, slowly picking up his feet, then slowly putting them down, only a little in front of where they had been before. "Come on, tortoise," called his friends anxiously, but he did not lift up his foot to wave at them as the hare had done. He kept on moving slowly forwards. In a few minutes the hare was a long way from the starting line, so he slowed down. "It's going to take the tortoise all day," he thought, "so there's no need for me to hurry." He stopped to talk to friends and nibble juicy grass here and there along the path. By the time he reached halfway, the sun was high in the sky and the day became very hot. The animals who were waiting there saw the hare turn back towards the clearing. They settled down for a long wait for the tortoise. As he returned by the river, the hot sun and the grass he had eaten made the hare feel sleepy. "There's no need to hurry," he told himself. "Here's a nice shady spot." And he stretched himself out comfortably on the ground. With paws beneath his head, he murmured sleepily, "It won't matter if Tortoise passes me. I'm much faster than he is. I'll still get back first and win the race." He drifted off to sleep. Meanwhile, the tortoise went on, slowly. He reached the edge of the forest quite soon after the hare, for he had not stopped to talk to friends or eat tempting fresh grass. Before long, smiling gently, he passed the hare sleeping in the shade. The animals in the clearing waited all day for the hare to return, but he did not arrive. The sun was setting before they saw the tortoise plodding towards them. "Where is the hare?" they called out. The tortoise did not waste his breath in answering, but came steadily towards them. "Hurrah! Tortoise has won! Well done, slow coach!" the animals cheered. Only when he knew he had won the race did the tortoise speak. "Hare? Oh, he's asleep back there by the river." There was a sudden flurry, and at great speed the hare burst into the clearing. He had woken, and seeing how long the shadows were, realised he had slept for much longer than he intended. He raced back to the clearing, but he was too late. Tortoise smiled and said, "Slow and steady wins the race."
So after all that, Tortoise, you won?
Yes, I did.
You might be the slowest, but you're certainly one of the cleverest.
Why, thank you.
Well, I don't agree.
Oh, hello, Hare. Recovered from your run then, I see.
Well, of course I have. It really wasn't that much. I'm quick, you know. Quicker than him, you know.
Oh, I
Ran a
see.
late night last night. I wouldn't have been so tired today. It's ridiculous, I say. I'll beat you in the 100-metre slow coach. Just you see if I don't. It's ridiculous. Can't believe it. I don't believe it.
Oh dear. Not a happy Hare then. Well, we'll say bye-bye, Tortoise. We'll see you soon.
Ah, yes, thank you. Bye-bye, both of you. Bye-bye.
Let's keep going, Anna and Richard. I wonder who else we're going to meet along the way. We're now arriving at a pond. Can you hear any of the animals in the pond? I'll tell you what, I'll describe them and you see if you can guess what they are. Well, first of all, I can see a bird and it has a yellowish beak, waterproof feathers, webbed feet, and it makes a noise that sounds like quack. Yes, it's a duck. And I can see a mummy duck, a daddy duck. Do you know the proper name for a daddy duck? It's called a drake. So there's a duck, a drake, and lots of baby ducks. And do you know the proper name for baby ducks? Yes, ducklings. Mummy Duck is now going to tell us how many little ducklings she's got. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little ducks. They often like to swim away, as you'll hear in this song. Why don't you sing along, or at least do the quacks instead?
Five little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only 4 little ducks came back. Quack, 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 quack. 4 little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 Two little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only one little duck came back. Quack! One little duck went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 and five little ducks came swimming back. Quack, 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 quack. Five little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only four little ducks came back. Quack, 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 quack. Four little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only three little ducks came back. Quack, quack, quack. Three little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only two little ducks came back. Quack, quack. Two little ducks went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 but only one little duck came back. Quack. One little duck went swimming one day over the pond and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 and five little ducks came swimming back. Quack, 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 quack.
Well done, Richard. And well done, Anna. Back on the pond, there's another creature for you to guess. This also has webbed feet, but is greeny brown with little spots or speckles in colour. He's quite slippery, he can jump a long way, and he makes a noise that sounds a bit like ribbit. Yes, he's a frog. And in our pond, there's more than one of them, and they're all sitting in a long line on a log. Shall we count them? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little speckled frogs. Why don't you sing this song as well?
Five little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool, and there were 4 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 4 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool, and there were 3 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 3 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool, and there were 2 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 2 little speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, catching some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool, and there was 1 green speckled frog. Glub, glub. 1 little speckled frog sat on a speckled log, catching some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. He jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool, and there were no green speckled frogs. Glub, glub.
Now, just around here, behind the pond, lives a little friend of mine. Would you like to meet him? There's a big willow tree over there, and deep down, inside an old hollow root, is where he lives. Let's knock on the tree and see if he's in. Hello. Anna and Richard, let me introduce you to Country Mouse. It looks very dark in your little house. Would you like a bit of light? Oh, OK. But Country Mouse, it's very quiet around here. Would you not like a bit more going on? What's so funny? Is it something I've said?
Well, it all started when my cousin came to visit. Would you like to hear my story?
Well, yes. It would be nice to find out what happened. So, Anna and Richard, this is the story of Town Mouse and Country Mouse.
Down a quiet country lane, deep in the roots of an old tree, lived Country Mouse. One evening, he was surprised to see his cousin Town Mouse coming down the lane to visit him. "Welcome, cousin," said Country Mouse. "You'll love the country. It's so nice and quiet." After a while, Country Mouse made a big supper. But Town Mouse did not like the thick mugs and plates or the plain food. At bedtime, Town Mouse did not like his little straw bed. It made him scratch and sneeze. Achoo! Every morning, Country Mouse was busy finding food for the winter. "Come and help me, cousin," called Country Mouse. But Town Mouse did not like the work, and he did not like getting his hands and clothes dirty. One morning, they crossed the meadow to find some mushrooms for tea. The horse who lived in the meadow came to make friends with the mice. But Town Mouse was so surprised, he fell head over heels into the wet grass. "Ow! I don't like the country," sighed Town Mouse. "It's dark, it's cold, it's wet, and it's too quiet." "Oh, cousin," said Town Mouse, "I am tired of the country. In the town it is warm and dry, and there is no need to look for food. You must come and see for yourself." Later that day, Town Mouse saw the family at the end of the lane getting into the car to go to town.
Bye-bye.
"Come on, Country Mouse," he yelled. "Let's go." They hid in the car and jumped out when they got into town. Poor Country Mouse had never heard so much noise or seen so many lights. They soon arrived at the house where they were greeted by Town Mouse's family. How big the house was! It was all too big for Country Mouse. Town Mouse and his family began to feast on fruit, cakes, chocolate and cream. But it was all too rich and sweet for Country Mouse, and he could hardly eat a thing. Next day, Town Mouse and a tired Country Mouse went for a picnic in the park. But the ducks and geese ate all their food and chased them away. Back at the house, Country Mouse was almost sucked into the carpet cleaner. He was a very unhappy mouse. That night, Country Mouse dreamt of the country and the smell of the earth and the trees. How he wished that he was back at home. In the morning, when Country Mouse woke up, he was surprised to see a big, brightly decorated tree in the room. It was Christmas, and there were lots of parcels under the tree. Town Mouse was standing on top of a large hamper in the middle of the room. "It's going near your home," cried Town Mouse. Country Mouse could at last go home. He said goodbye to his cousin and crawled into the hamper just as it was being put into the van.
Country Mouse jumped out of the van as it passed the lane where he lived. Suddenly he heard the church bells ringing. It was Christmas Eve. Country Mouse ran to the church. He knew all his country friends would be there to sing carols. "Come, Country Mouse," said the smallest mouse. "You can spend all Christmas telling us all your great adventures." Country Mouse smiled. All he wanted to do was forget.
So, you can see why I like my house to be dark and quiet.
Yes, we do see now, Country Mouse. Well, scurry back inside before you get too cold. Bye, Country Mouse.
Oh, thank goodness, thank goodness!
Who's this, Anna and Richard?
My name's Goldilocks, and I've just run away from some bears.
Bears?
Yes, bears! You see, I found this house. It seemed to be empty, so I went in. There was a table with 3 bowls, one huge, one small, and a little tiny bowl, and they were all filled with porridge. Well, I was very hungry, and the porridge smelled wonderful, so I tried some. The porridge in the first bowl was too hot, and in the second bowl, too cold. But the porridge in the tiny bowl was perfect, so I ate it all up. Then I saw 3 chairs, and I couldn't resist trying them. There was a huge chair that was too hard, and a small chair that was too soft, but the tiny chair was just right. But when I sat down in it, it broke! It wasn't my fault, honest! Then I felt very sleepy. It must have been all that porridge I ate. There were 3 beds in the room. The huge bed was too hard, and the small one too soft. The tiny little bed was so comfortable that I lay down and must have fallen fast asleep. When I woke up, I found a daddy bear, a mummy bear, and a baby bear all standing in the bed, growling at me. I was so scared that I ran away.
When Goldilocks went to the house of the bears, oh, what did her blue eyes see? A ball that was huge, a ball that was small, and a ball that was tiny, and that was all. She counted them 1, 2, 3. When Goldilocks went to the house of the bears, oh, what did her blue eyes see? A chair that was huge, a chair that was small, and a chair that was tiny, and that was all. She counted them 1, 2, 3. When Goldilocks went to the house of the bears, oh, what did her blue eyes see? A bed that was huge, a bed that was small, and a bed that was tiny, and that was all. She counted them 1, 2, 3. When Goldilocks ran from the house of the bears, oh, what did her blue eyes see? A bear that was huge, a bear that was small, and a bear that was tiny, and that was all. They growled at her 1, 2, 3.
Well, don't go into a stranger's house again, Goldilocks. Now go straight home, because there's lots of bears in the wood today, because today is the day when all the baby teddy bears have their picnic.
Picnic?
Yes, picnic, Goldilocks. Now run straight home now. Bye. Did you know that, Anna and Richard? Today is the teddy bears' picnic. Sing along.
If you go down in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down in the woods today, you'd better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. If you go down in the woods today,
I've done so much walking. Do you know, I've worn a hole in my shoe. What I could really do with now is a cobbler to mend it. But we're never going to find a cobbler here. What am I saying? We're in a land of magic. And if I think hard enough and we say the magic words, maybe I can get my shoe fixed. Shall I try it? Abracadabra, bring me a cobbler. No, it hasn't worked. Oh, I need you to say it with me. Are you ready, Anna? Are you ready, Richard? Abracadabra, bring me a cobbler. No, still nothing. I know, we need to say it louder. Are you ready? Abracadabra, bring me a cobbler. Well, would you believe it? It worked. Here's a little cobbler. Excuse me, could you mend my shoe?
Yes, certainly I can. When do you need it done by?
Well, about 2:30.
Well, it's now 3 minutes to 2:30. I'd better get on with it.
Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Get it done by 2:30. My toe is peeping through. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Get it done by 2:30. My toe is peeping through. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Get it done by 2:30. My toe is peeping through. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Get it done by 2:30. My toe is peeping through. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe.
How's that for you, sir?
Excellent, thank you. My shoe is now as good as new. But fortunately, I think it's now time to go. Look, they're all waving goodbye.
See you later.
Can you wave back?
See you later.
Let's pass back through the magic door. Close your eyes, and here we go. Imagine you're walking through the doorway now. It's been a wonderful adventure. Goodbye, Anna, and goodbye, Richard.